Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, Life with OT. If this is your first time coming across my channel, on this channel we talk about all things beauty, fashion, lifestyle, and we also throw in healthy tips as well. On today's video, we're going to be talking about hemorrhoids. We're going to talk about hemorrhoidectomy. We're going to talk about post-op care. We're going to talk about what to expect post-op. Okay? If this is something that you're interested in, make sure you watch this video till the end. Okay? All right, just a disclaimer, I am a physician. However, I am not giving medical advice on this video or in my channel. I pretty much am talking, I'm just making this video just to talk about my personal experience and what I went through, and just, sharing tips that would be helpful to you, especially if you are planning on getting surgery or if you already had surgery. I have my note here just so that way I stay on track. If you have any medical concerns, you should always get medical advice from your primary care doctor or from your doctor. All right. So I know you clicked on this video for 3 reasons. One of them, you probably have hemorrhoids and you're like, okay, how do I treat this? How do I get better? How do I prevent it from coming back? Or you've had hemorrhoids for a long time and you're tired of it and you just want it gone. You just want to have surgery and get it fixed and be done with it. Or 3, you've had hemorrhoidectomy and you're, in your healing phase, and you have questions. You want to know, is this normal? Why am I having this much pain? We're going to discuss all of these things in this video. I developed hemorrhoids about 6 years ago when I had my son. During labor, I developed hemorrhoids, and since then, I have battled with hemorrhoids off and on. I have periods where the hemorrhoids are stable, I don't have any symptoms at all. And then I have times where, it gets bad, where, if I have like diarrhea or from food poisoning or anything like that, or if I got a little constipated where I had to strain a little bit, it would flare up. And then sometimes, just because of the kind of work that I do, if I sit too long, I'll get hemorrhoids that flare up, that flare up as well. I've been managing it for, like I said, for 6 years off and on, with, medications just to help it get better. But over the holidays, it got really, really bad where it interfered with my work. I couldn't go to work for a couple of days. It was just very inflamed and it was thrombosed. So I had to get surgery to fix it because it was really, really super bad. So I spoke with my primary care doctor, asked for a referral, saw my general surgeon who saw my hemorrhoids, and I told him my concerns, and he agreed that surgery may be, a good option for me. So we went ahead and planned for surgery. Right? So I'm going to talk about, people that do have hemorrhoids that are not at the stage where you need to have surgery. So I would say for those people, keep trying your best, eating lots of fiber, fruits, vegetables, water, make sure you're staying hydrated, trying to prevent anything that would cause you to strain, basically constipation. You want to prevent that at all costs. And then if you do get to the point where you have to get surgery, these are things that I find to be helpful. Number 1, you want to make sure that when you do have your surgery date scheduled, you want to make sure that you prepare, right? So things that would help your post-op care or post-op care to be smooth, things that would be helpful would be, number 1, getting a sitz bath. You can get a sitz bath from Amazon or your local, like Walmart or something. I believe they would sell them. I have linked one, the sitz bath that I use down in the description box. So if you're interested in purchasing that one, it's great. I find it very helpful. The other thing that I found really helpful was lidocaine cream, which is a numbing medication. So you pretty much want to have that handy so that way after you do surgery, you already have it. You can use it whenever you need to. So those are the 2 things that I would say. And then the third thing would be getting a pillow. So it's the donut pillow. You can get that from Amazon as well. I'm gonna link below the one that I purchased, especially for people that have to go to work where they are sitting. This would come in very handy, and you want to purchase it ahead of time just so that way you have it ready to go. And then the other things that you need are stool softeners. So you want to get your stool softener over the counter or prescription from your doctor, whatever, you know, works best. You should have that handy and ready before you get your surgery. So say for instance, you have your surgery on Monday, I would say 2 days prior to your surgery to start to eat and cleanse, right? So I typically would say start to drink lots and lots of fluids, soft foods, just so that way if you do end up needing to have a bowel movement the day of surgery or the day after surgery, your stool is not hard, you're not straining, and your stool is soft. So those are the main things I would say to prepare for surgery. And you also want to, you know, make sure that you have time off from work. For me, my doctor told me about a week should be fine, but personally, a week was not enough. I had to extend my time off from work. I would say a minimum of at least 10 days. Again, every case is different. Some people are able to heal okay and they're able to go back to work, but all of this depends on the kind of work that you do, right? So if you're standing a lot or if you're sitting a lot, all of those things play a huge role. Or if you lift at work, all of those things will play a huge role in when you can go back to work. All right. So the day of surgery. So for me, my surgery went pretty uneventful. I had my surgery at a outpatient surgery center. It went well. Surgery in itself lasted, I believe, about an hour. My husband came with me. He drove me there and he stayed through the procedure, and then we went home together same day. So I went to the OR, or I was taken to the OR, and I was given anesthesia. I did feel some burning, so that's expected. It's normal to feel that way. So I felt the burning, and then next thing you know, I'm up in recovery. That's, you know, you get the anesthesia, next thing you know, you're waking up in recovery. So in that sense, my surgery went well. Like, I didn't feel any pain at all, you know, during the surgery, didn't feel a thing. Woke up and I was like, oh, okay. So that's pretty much how my day went. When I got into recovery stage, I was fine. Just felt a little woozy or dizzy or just coming out of, you know, anesthesia. So that's pretty normal. And then I was prescribed some opioids, some pain medication to help with my pain. My husband picked it up before we left, and then, you know, got in the car. I wasn't feeling any pain at all, so I was fine. But because obviously I knew I just had a hemorrhoidectomy, I knew I had to lay on my side. So I stayed in the passenger side where I just moved, you know, my husband moved the chair all the way back, and so I just tilted to the side. When we got home that day, I immediately started taking my pain medication. I will say, you know, post-op, you want to make sure that you have your pain medication because you will need it. For me, most doctors would prescribe opioids, right, after, you know, having surgery. So I would say start taking it immediately post-op, because what you don't want is the buildup of pain. You don't want to, you know, treat your pain when they come. You want to already take the medicine so that way when it comes, you already have some medicines in you, right, to help with the pain. Like, we know medicines don't work immediately, you take them. So you don't want to feel pain, excruciating pain, and then take the medicine, because it's just not going to work that way, right? So I would say try to be ahead of your pain. So take your medication as scheduled, as the doctor prescribed it to you. For me, I was on opioids and I was also taking Tylenol. So I would alternate. So say for instance, my opioid was every 4 to 6 hours. I would take it every 4 to 6 hours. And then I would take Tylenol every 8 hours in between that. So that way I had full coverage around the clock of, you know, for my pain management, which was fine. So I'm gonna go step by step post-op days, and I'll tell you what days were the worst for me and when I started to feel like, okay, maybe I'm not dying. Maybe I'll survive this. Just to be open with you guys, hemorrhoidectomy is a painful surgery. I have had 2 C-sections and a vaginal delivery, and nothing compares to the hemorrhoid surgery that I had. I don't know how to explain it, but it's a very painful procedure. And I feel like no one really can explain to you what to expect until you actually go through it. You know, like I said, I'm a physician, and so I refer patients for hemorrhoid surgeries a lot. I refer them to, you know, general surgery or GI. And I never really explained to them, hey, this is a very painful procedure. Are you sure you want to do it? Until now that I experienced it and I'm like, wait, this is actually really painful. So just setting expectations. I'm not saying that, don't do the surgery because it's so painful, blah, blah, blah. I'm just trying to set a realistic expectation. Like, it's not a walk in the park, it's painful. And if you are going through post-op recovery right now and you're like, oh my God, what is happening? I'm in so much pain. I don't know what to do. It's normal. That's expected. A lot of people that go through this surgery, they feel that same, the same things that you're feeling. We all felt it as well. So I'll start off with post-op day 1. So we talked about it pretty much, so surgery day, post-op day 1, I was fine because my doctor told me I did get the 72-hour anesthesia that would last around the my rectal area, that it would last for at least 72 hours. So I should be okay in terms of pain, which was fine. First day, I was fine. I just felt like I needed to pass gas. And it's a sensation that you feel in your bottom for like the first day or two until you have a bowel movement, where it feels like you want to pass gas or you want to have a bowel movement, but then you're not able to. It just feels like crampy, but then you're not able to pass any of those things, or you may be able to pass gas, but you're not able to have a bowel movement, even though it feels like you have to go. I will say, if you are feeling that, what you don't want to do is strain. Don't strain. You don't really want to have a bowel movement. It just feels like you need to, but then you don't really need to. So the other thing is, you do get like rectal, like gauze around your bottom. So that also, I feel like, contributes to the sensation that you're feeling, where it feels like you have to go. For me, I would say, when you have your surgery, be mindful that opioids do cause constipation, and you're also laying in bed, so your GI tract, you're not functioning well. So you're not moving, your GI tract is not active as much as it is normally. And so constipation is gonna be something that you want to fight, you want to prevent. So I would say, as soon as you come out of the hospital, you want to start your stool softeners immediately. You want to take it as prescribed and hope for the best. So post-op day 2, I continued my pain medication. I continued my stool softeners, as scheduled, twice a day. And I also started taking an additional stool softener, which was a mistake, because I eventually went and I had this really, I had a lot. I had to go multiple times, which you should try to not do, So you don't want to take too much stool softeners where you have to go multiple times. You want to take enough so that way when you go, it's soft, but you don't want to take it where you have diarrhea, if that makes sense. All right, so day 2 went fine, continued my pain medicine. Day 3, continued my pain medicine, continued, just regular post-op care, doing the sitz bath and, staying in the tub. Day 3, I finally have my first bowel movement. Moment of silence for the pain that you go through, the first bowel movement you have. Again, everybody's different, right? But most people will feel pain when they have their first bowel movement, right? Because you just had surgery. It's tender, it's red, it's inflamed, it's swollen, there's some bleeding. So it is expected to have a lot of pain when you do have a bowel movement. For me, it was very excruciating. It was very painful. I remember, having a need to go. I remember feeling like I needed to use the bathroom, and I was just so scared. And like, I told my husband, I was like, I don't know. I don't know. But like, I have to go, but I don't really want to go, but I just have to go. So I went to the bathroom and I didn't strain at all, which was good. And I was able to have soft bowel movement, but it was very painful. It was so painful. It was excruciating. And then after you have a bowel movement, you feel a little bit better, but then you start to feel a lot of pain again. So I would say, whenever you have a bowel movement or after you have a bowel movement, you want to do the sitz bath. And then after I would do the sitz bath, I would go in the tub and just lay there. I would lay in the tub for like an hour at least. I would just stay there. It helped me feel better. I would recommend that you try that too, because it does help with the pain. So that was day 3. Day 4, I was able to walk a little bit more. But throughout my post-op journey, I will say the most difficult days were post-op day 3 to 5. And here's why. Post-op day 3, I had a bowel movement, and I had some bleeding that came with a bowel movement, which is expected to bleed, right? And so after I had that bowel movement, it felt like things were ripped apart, and it just felt really painful. And then day 4, I just felt a lot more pain, I think because the anesthesia or the numbing medication I had during surgery was wearing off. So I had even more pain on day 4. And then on day 5, I had a lot of bowel movements that were really soft. So I would say diarrhea, really, because of the stool softeners I was taking days ahead. So be mindful, stool softeners do take time to work. Depending on the ones that you take, it can work in 6 to 12 hours. Some can work in a day. Excuse me. So you want to make sure that you're not taking too much to the point where when it finally works, you're having massive diarrhea. You don't want that, because then you're causing more irritation in your bottom. So when I went past day 3 to 5, I started to feel better. On day 6, I felt a lot better. I was walking, I was still taking my Tylenol. I stopped taking the opioids at that point, but I was just taking Tylenol, and I felt significantly better. Now, when I say I felt significantly better, doesn't mean I wasn't having pain. I was still having pain. However, I could live with this pain. And then day 7, 8, things continued to get better. Today is day 9, so I post up day 9 today, and I'm sitting on a pillow, and I'm kind of like tilted to the side, which is helpful. I will say definitely things are better. So if you are going through your, all the post-op recovery and all the pain, it is normal to feel that way, but I'm just here to, encourage whoever is watching this video, whoever is going through all the pain of hemorrhoidectomy. It is gonna get better, okay? It's gonna get bad, it's really painful, but it will get better. You're not gonna be in pain forever, okay? I just want you to hang in there. Whatever you believe in, pray. I'm a Christian, so I would be in the tub praying. Listen, I would be in the tub praying. So whatever you believe in, I would say pray and just stay positive. Just counting down, knowing that you're going to feel better after. I do remember making a video on post-op day 3. And in the video, I was crying. I was like, oh my God, this was such a mistake. Why did I even do the surgery? But today, I do feel better, in terms of work. Like I was saying earlier, my surgeon told me that I should be fine by about a week, but I wasn't ready to go back to work in 1 week. So I extended that a little bit more. But other than that, I will say, oh yeah, diet. In terms of diet, when you come out of the hospital or post-op after your surgery, you want to make sure that you're doing soft diet or liquid diet, just no hard foods. For me, what I would do is in the morning, I would have like a yogurt. In the afternoon, I would have like chicken noodle soup. And then in the evening, I would have like maybe soup or something really light, just so that way I don't, it's soft, easier to process, you can have, better bowel movements or really soft bowel movements. So that's what I was doing for the first 3 days post-op. You don't want to go straight to hard foods, because you don't want to have that bowel movement, if you're eating like really hard solid foods. In terms of weight loss, I did lose weight. I lost about 8 pounds. Yeah, I lost about 8 pounds total, just from, just in how many days I lost 8 pounds. I do know some people that lose even more weight, but I only lost 8 pounds, which, whatever is fine. But yeah, so I don't know if, if you have any other, if you have any questions or any other concerns, if you have, just comment down below, and let me know what post-op day you are, and tell me your journey. I'm curious to see who else has felt the same way that I felt, or if you felt something different. Just, you know, comment in the description box so we can chat and just, you know, see how we can help each other. I hope this video was helpful. If you guys want me to talk about anything in specific, I'm more than happy to read your comments and make a video on that. And yeah, so yeah, until next time, this brings us to the end of this video. I hope this was helpful, but I will say, hang in there. You're not alone. You will get better. Look at me. I went from crying every day to sitting here talking to you guys, making this video. All right, so I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.